Everybody, my name is Pixie People. Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel if you've been subscribed to me. Or if you've just been watching me. Anyways, my new goal for subscribers is 100. So hit the subscribe button, hit the post notification bell, and like the video to keep me relevant, you know? Anyways, cut to the For Honor gameplay. So, when we cut back to Krillin and Goku, we see them, in the hospital, in extreme pain. And they're trying to devise a plan to get the Dragon Balls back. And they're like, thinking the Saiyans said Piccolo was a Namekian. So, they thought if they went to wherever a Namekian is, they could get more Dragon Balls. So Gohan, being the only healthy one, not mentally though, considering, remember, he blew off Vegeta's arm. And, yeah, Gohan's going up to the tower. He decides to grab a senzu bean for his dad and his uncle, I guess. After Gohan gets to the tower and asks Korin for some senzu beans, he says he only has one left. And so Gohan says if he could have it. And Korin just, throws it to him, says, choose wisely who they give that to. Then Gohan flies up to further up where Mr. Popo is. So Gohan talks to Popo about where Kami's from. And Popo explains that Kami was originally from a nameless Namekian that came from the planet Namek. And luckily for Gohan, Popo knows where Namek is. So, Gohan, ecstatic, flies to the hospital with Mr. Popo just, happy he could help. So after Gohan gets back to the hospital with, Chi-Chi, Bulma, Goku, Krillin, and Master Roshi there, they're making plans. Till Gohan shows up with one senzu bean, and Bulma asking, so what did Popo say? And Gohan says, Mr. Popo told me that there was a planet called Namek, and it's in space. And he has one senzu bean left. And Korin has one senzu bean left. And then, the group takes that in, and Goku immediately tells his son to give it to Krillin. While Krillin says to give it to Goku, considering Goku's stronger than him. But Goku insists and tells his son that it would just be best if Goku wants to stay at the hospital so he can, actually bond with his wife and talk to her. And then Krillin relents and says, yeah, I'll take the senzu bean. So Gohan gives Krillin the bean, and Krillin powers back up and is fully healthy. So after Krillin gets out of that bed and asks Bulma what they should do, then Bulma says that they could build a spaceship, but building a spaceship would take a really long time, and they don't know how the Namekian Dragon Balls work, even if there is any. And I don't think we have a year. So Krillin asked if they could just use one of those Saiyan pods that they flew in with. So Bulma says they're intact. Krillin says yes. So after Bulma Krillin takes Bulma over to this site of the fight, shows Bulma the pod, and she, inspects it and learns how to build one. And then she bases off her spaceship design with like the Saiyan pod. So she builds her own spaceship, and it's all built. It was made quickly, so it's really not that. It's just able to get to point A to point B, and point B to point A again. So Krillin and Bulma are about to board the spaceship when Gohan asks if he can come. Which then Krillin asks, "Did your mom say yeah?" Which then Gohan says, "Yes." He's lying. So Krillin and Bulma just take his word, because they don't really know if Gohan's a liar or not. So Gohan gets on the spaceship, and they fly away. With Chi-Chi not having a clue in the world that her son is on a spaceship. Because Gohan told Chi-Chi that he was going to go catch a fish. So Chi-Chi just let him go, assuming he'd be fine. But, their son's at a spaceship now. So before Chi-Chi can even realize it, they're already in out of Earth's atmosphere. And then, they're already in space. So Gohan and Krillin decide to train, just in case the Namekians aren't as friendly as Kami is. So Gohan and Krillin train. More Krillin training Gohan, though. So Krillin and Gohan train. And, Gohan gets a big boost out of it, while Krillin barely gets anything out of it. Which is good for Gohan, but not as great as for Krillin. And so, eventually, they get to Namek. Since, just they're flying over there, I'd like to travel a bit back in time to when Vegeta was flying away from the planet. So, we cut back a few, days ago. So Vegeta, after getting his arm shot clean off, is seething in rage, and is mad at Gohan specifically, because he took off his arm. So eventually Vegeta gets back to Frieza Planet 1 to report back to Frieza. So Frieza just tells Vegeta to rest up, and his scientist will give him a new arm. A bit friendly for Frieza, right? Frieza already knows what Vegeta's planning is to, betray him. So he's just gonna be cordial and friendly with Vegeta, so later he can just kill him. So eventually Vegeta gets into a Saiyan pod, and the scientist builds Vegeta a new arm. They make it as, they don't make it super high-tech, it's kind of bulky, and it kind of just clasps over his shoulder. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that Gohan took out his entire arm, down to the shoulder. And so Vegeta gets a new robotic arm. It's clasped to his arm and shoulder, and it looks pretty bad looking. Think basically whatever. Oh yeah, Mecha Frieza looks like, but just an arm. That's basically what Vegeta arm look like. So it's kind of trash looking. So after Vegeta gets out of the pod and gets his new robotic arm, of course he comments on the fact it's trash, and he can't even charge ki into it anymore. Well, not enough to where he could charge up any of his attacks anymore. He can't use the Gallic gun anymore, that just blow off his arm. He can't even do any new attacks, or his arm will blow off again. Because he's pushing too much energy into the thing, and the thing has limits, so it'll just blow off. So this Vegeta is restricted. So this Vegeta is going to be a bit more sneaky than the original Vegeta. After, that, after Vegeta learns of this, he gets really mad and just storms off, knocking a guy directly against a wall, knocking him out. Then he takes a pod and goes to Namek, remembering that that's a planet, and that it also could have Dragon Balls, considering it's also a Namekian planet. So Vegeta goes over there, and is about to land when he notices another pod just landed. Then we cut back to Krillin and Gohan's POV. When they got out of the spaceship, looked up and saw Vegeta's pod flying down. When Krillin sees this, he isn't frightened, but Gohan and Bulma are a bit frightened, because Krillin realizes how handicapped Vegeta is. Vegeta was really strong before, but he can't be as strong as he was before because he's missing a whole arm. So Krillin just, chills and tells Gohan something. And then Krillin and Gohan set up camp for Bulma so they can chill for a sec. Until Krillin does a shocked face and does like a bead of sweat down his forehead, with Gohan doing the same, Bulma being confused. Then them looking behind them, realizing another spaceship's landing, and it's huge compared to Vegeta's. And then it lands, and then they feel the power levels on it. Most, if not all of them, are really, really weak. But 3 of them stand out behind those power levels. 2 that are like equal to each other, kind of, and another one outclassing those guys miles. I mean millennias longer than them. So Krillin, rechanges his tone from cockiness and boldness to frightenedness. So when, a few minutes later, after they get the whole Dragon Raider set up, because Bulma tries to make a Dragon Raider, and it works. Krillin and Gohan search for the Dragon Balls when they feel energies depleting, realizing that there are actually living beings on this planet. They fly over, seeing a group of Namekians being killed by a pink blobby thing with weird forearms with spikes attached to them. It looks hella ugly, and a more handsome, for human standards, looking alien with blue hair and green skin, with a lot more jewelry on than the other one. And they see a little midget in a pod with horns on its head, with some weird looking armor on them, all 3 of them. Until they see they're about to kill, a little kid Namekian, so Krillin immediately flies in and solar flares all 3 of them, actually blinding all 3 of them and the entire team that was around them. So while Gohan's picking up those guys, Krillin speed blitzes the entire army around Frieza and then flies away. So after everyone else is unblinded, Frieza calls out Dodoria and Zarbon and to figure out what that was. And, they bow and say, "Yes, my liege." That's what they say. Then Frieza looks around himself and realizes all of his army guys are all laid out dead, with, ki blast shot into them. So Frieza, not knowing, their, other people here. He just assumes that some Namekians were being sneaky and snuck up on his Frieza soldiers. So while Zarbon and Dodoria look for whoever caused this disturbance, Krillin and Gohan just dip. When they bring back the kid-looking Namekian, the kid finally says that his name is Dende, and says that those three are called Frieza, Dodoria, and Zarbon, and they're from the Frieza race. I mean, Frieza army. And, you know, this is where Krillin and Gohan learn who those three are. So let's cut over to Vegeta while Gohan and Krillin are recuperating and collecting some Dragon Balls. Vegeta, after, you know, landing and collecting some Dragon Balls of himself after slaughtering a hefty amount of Namekians, stealing Dragon Balls and taking some for himself. When he starts to hide them, eventually Dodoria shows up to put him in his place. And if you're thinking Vegeta's gonna do the same thing he did in canon, kinda not. Vegeta is like playing a lot more sneaky here, and is mainly using his real arm, basically not thinking he has an arm still. Eventually Dodoria starts getting up her hand, but Vegeta stops playing around and charges a ki fist, I guess, and rams it into Dodoria, knocking the wind out of Dodoria. And before Dodoria can even say anything, Vegeta charges up a one-handed Gallic gun and shoots Dodoria out of existence, killing Dodoria. And before Vegeta can fly away and recuperate, Zarbon shows up and is actually on the back foot because Vegeta is still really strong, until Zarbon transforms into his second form and starts putting the hands on Vegeta. But, you know, Vegeta isn't taking this back, so he eventually punches with his robot arm, actually doing some damage to second form Zarbon, knocking him back and hurting his face, making him nosebleed. And then Zarbon gets mad, crushes Vegeta's rib cage, and then smacks him right back to the ground, flying him really far to the ground, hitting the water, knocking him out. So after Vegeta was knocked out and was sent over to Thing and is sleeping now, Gohan and Krillin fly over to another Dragon Ball they sensed, where they found Guru's place, where Nail introduces himself and says that he knows who they are. And Krillin says, does he? And he says that they're the people that helped Dende out of a bad situation. They're allowed in. So Krillin and Gohan get in there, ask Guru for the Dragon Ball, and Guru just gives it to them. Says before they leave that he can unlock their potential. So Gohan and Krillin, you know, get their potential unlocked. This, like, immensely boosts Krillin, well, you know, it also immensely boosts Gohan. But mostly we're focusing on Krillin here. Like, that boost hit him hard. Then after Krillin and Gohan left, they, you know, kept searching for Dragon Balls. And then we come back to Vegeta. And after Vegeta gets owned, Zarbon detransforms and takes Vegeta to Frieza. And Frieza, again, yeah, he's not going to kill Vegeta yet, because he needs to know where the Dragon Balls are. And he already has a couple pets himself. And after Vegeta starts healing, he eventually wakes up. Vegeta eventually wakes up, gets out of his pod, causes a commotion, and kills Pui Pui. Kills him in an instant. And so Vegeta causes commotion, of course, and then steals the Dragon Balls. And before he can, you know, fly away, he realizes that he sees Gohan. And then his body starts to boil while his energy starts to get out of hand. And before Vegeta can even think himself, he just rushes Gohan. And before Gohan can react, Vegeta breaks Gohan's arm. Yeah, Gohan's arm gets broken. And, since it's young Gohan, he gets sent freaking flying into a mountain, knocking him out. And before Vegeta could, follow up with an attack, he calms himself before he alerts Frieza of his presence. And he takes the Dragon Ball Gohan was carrying and flies away, taking more Dragon Balls. But, Gohan already found a Dragon Ball Vegeta was hiding. So Gohan already has a Dragon Ball, and after Vegeta leaves, Gohan wakes up. It was a short knockdown. So Gohan breaks his arm back into place, like a G, and then flies over to him. Then Gohan flies over to the Dragon Ball he had and takes it. And takes over to where Krillin is. Krillin, wondering what the hell happened to Gohan, considering his shoulder's bleeding. So Gohan explains that Vegeta found him and broke his arm and sent him into a mountain. Krillin, obviously getting mad, really mad, he has a head bulge in his big forehead, in his bald head. And so Vegeta realizes that his Dragon Ball's gone, and before he doesn't get too mad this time, he's actually relaxed slightly. Realizes where Gohan is by sensing his power, and Krillin, of course, because of Krillin anger boost slightly. Then while Vegeta is flying over to them in immense fury, then when Vegeta gets there, he, is about to fight Krillin, with them stancing up on each other, and them about to get into a brawl. And before, they can get into a fight, Vegeta senses something, and so does Krillin. It takes Gohan a second, but he does eventually get to it. They see a bunch of pods flying in. Vegeta, immediately realizing what this is, immediately calls off the fight and tells Krillin that they should work together. Because, he doesn't care. He's more mad at Gohan than Krillin, because the arm thing. But he'll let it slide for now. And so after, the Ginyu Force finally gets to where the Dragon Balls are, with Vegeta, Gohan, and Krillin already being there. And, they all do the rock, paper, scissors thing. And Goldo and Rakuma show up, because they were on a team. And Goldo holds his breath and stops time. And before he can even do anything with it, Vegeta cuts his head off with his, shoulder blade. I meant to say his wrist. And then, time resumes with everyone seeing that Goldo's dead. And Raccoon is like, damn, and powers up. He's not sad, but he's, annoyed. And mad, of course. Just a little. And so Raccoon starts beating the crap out of Krillin, Gohan, and Vegeta. Until Krillin, his power level just weirdly spikes. And he just, uses the spike to power up into his buff skinny form. And then he, uses Kaioken times 3. I'm not trying to overdo it. And punches Raccoon right in the chest. Raccoon taking this punch like a champ, of course, trying to swing back on Krillin. But, Gohan helps Krillin with a Masenko, shooting Raccoon's arm to make him miss. So Krillin then just starts whooping Raccoon, with Vegeta helping him, of course. So, Raccoon started getting ass kicked. And before, they can all eventually kill Raccoon. Raccoon, I guess locks in and then starts beating them back. And starts about to win. They hear a loud crunch. And they look down to see Goku with his elbow directly into Raccoon's chest. That crunch was from Raccoon's ribcage entirely shattering. And then Raccoon coughs out blood. And Goku then gets a two-armed grasp and knocks Raccoon to the ground. Kind of hurting his head, because Raccoon's head is big thick. And then Raccoon smashes into the ground. Vegeta immediately shoots Raccoon with a full-powered, Gallic gun, one-handed Gallic gun, killing Raccoon. But, so Goku ignores this and just flies next to where Jace and Berto are. And, they try to swing on Goku, but for some reason their fists are just phasing through him. So they, throw all their ki blasts. They work as a team. They try to do everything until Goku just waves his fist into the air. Them watching the fist, and then wondering what he's doing, until Goku teleports above them with his fist up extended into a slamming pose. Then he smashes Berto's head into the ground, actually killing him, not on purpose, but he kills him on accident. And then Jace just dips after that. Vegeta sees Goku, kill Berto, and claps, actually. A light clap, but it's a clap nonetheless. Think a golf clap. After they all collect the Dragon Balls, and the last Dragon Ball. They have all the Dragon Balls together, but they don't know how to use them yet. Until Krillin thinks Dende probably knows. So they go and get Dende. They're gonna go get Dende. They get Dende, and then they look over and realize they're actually super close to the spaceship. And then they hear, people flying towards them. Then Ginyu and Jace show back up. And, of course, Goku being a bit reassured on his power level, he says he can take on Ginyu. And then Vegeta says he's got Jace. Vegeta, kills Jace with just a punch to the chest with his robot arm, and then evaporates Jace with just a normal ki blast. No Gallic gun, one-handed Gallic gun. Killing Jace in, a matter of seconds. After Jace dies, Ginyu gets frightened. At first, he was 1v1ing Goku, and then realized Goku wasn't even at full power. So he also double panics and decides he'll just stab himself, which Goku takes as him trying to kill himself. So Goku starts to think he's winning. But then Ginyu yells, "Body change!" And body changes with Goku. Then, no one knew what happened, so they just assumed that the guy keeled over and died. Which is actually just Goku, really in pain after realizing a hard chest pain. That won't be the last time he'll get a chest pain like that. But that's for later. After Gohan walks over to his dad, assuming it's his dad, Goku kicks him, knocking Gohan back. And before they can even react, Ginyu's body, but Goku really, rushes Vegeta, his own body, and starts fighting him. And they start to realize that the Ginyu's fighting style completely changed, and so did Goku's. So they realize who's in whose body, realizing they body changed. So they start jumping Goku's body. And eventually they get Goku's body to really low levels to where Ginyu tries to body change again. This time with Krillin and before Ginyu Goku can body change with Krillin, Vegeta tosses Goku's body in front of it. And then Goku gets body changed again, knocking unconscious. Vegeta murdered Oh yeah, then Vegeta flies over to the Ginyu before he can even body change with anything and evaporates him. Because Ginyu is really heavily damaged. Because he was also attacking his old body. So he just slaughters Ginyu. Then Vegeta tells them that they can take something from Vegeta's pod. Because he senses Frieza somewhere else. And they all start sensing around and realize, yeah, he's right. So they take the Dragon Balls and fly over to Frieza's ship. And Vegeta then, puts Goku into the pod and then takes off some of the armor that was broken off, and then lays down and sleeps, taking a rest, I guess. While Gohan and Krillin change into some Saiyan clothes. And so after that, Gohan and Krillin decide they'll just use the Dragon Balls now, while they have Dende here. Yes, Bulma is still in the same spot, because they decided that it'd probably be safer for her to just be there. After about to using the Dragon Balls, let's cut over to Piccolo after they revived him. So Piccolo's revived and immediately sent to the area, and flies over to a power level that's way beyond his level, but he wants to see what it is. So he flies over, realizing that the power level's going the complete opposite way of him. So he lands where, the power level was last sense for him, seeing a body and running over to it, seeing what's happening. Yes, Nail's dead. Nail's dying. So now with his last power says they'll fuse. Piccolo and Nail fuse into one being. And then this is where Frieza gets to Krillin, Gohan, and Dende. And of course, they leave. They didn't know what to use the final wish for, so they just let it sit there. Well, Porunga decides he'll just go back into his balls. So they just leave the Dragon Balls there, while Frieza shows up enraged. Then, of course, Frieza showing up, wakes up Vegeta, just flies out, seeing Frieza. And, of course, Vegeta getting, enraged, not scared this time, enraged, proclaiming he's the legendary Super Saiyan that he so fears. Frieza laughs at him, telling him, is he so sure? And so they start tussling. Krillin is actually holding his own, Gohan's playing support, so is Dende, of course, healing, and Krillin and Vegeta are basically the muscle, actually whooping the crap out of Frieza right now. So while they're fighting, Frieza actually feels like he's on the back foot, so he decides to transform. Actually, stop there. What do you do that? What do you do that? So Frieza thinks he's on the back foot, so he transforms into his second form. Vegeta, Krillin, and Gohan getting scared. Dende, of course, also getting scared. Like, why wouldn't he? So after they're all panicking, Piccolo shows up and Ki blasts second form Frieza away from everyone. And then second form Frieza and Piccolo fight. It's pretty double-sided, I guess. They're both fighting pretty evenly. But Piccolo is starting to overwhelm Frieza. Even getting able to shoot off a special beam cannon. Because, Krillin and Vegeta were helping him land it. Mostly Krillin, because Vegeta was, standing back because he was... didn't want to... He felt like he was helping too much, and was irritated that he was just playing like a lackey. So after Frieza gets hit with a special beam cannon to his chest, he's in pain. And so he decides to transform again into his third form. And then he starts whooping the shit out of everyone. Legit everyone. Oh yeah, forgot to mention that Krillin didn't get impaled this time. He actually broke Vegeta's horn straight off before it can impale him. And he actually used that horn to stab Vegeta in the leg. Frieza then pulled it out and then threw it away. And then Piccolo special beam cannon, and then he transformed into his level third form. Then he started whooping everyone. Of course, Krillin eventually uses his Destructo Disc and cuts Frieza's tail straight off. And so Krillin eventually starts, transforming into his sleek buff form. And that actually is giving him the advantage against Super Saiyan. He then thinks that this is Frieza's full form, so he just powers up into his full power, which is slim form Kaioken times 5. So he starts, beating the shit out of his Frieza, and Frieza's like actually on the back foot and getting kicked. Well, Piccolo's also there, and Vegeta's also there. Yeah, basically it's kind of overwhelming him. And yeah, so Oben starts exerting some power, a lot of power, and then after Frieza is like in a lot of pain, he decides to transform for the last time. So he powers up into his final form, which this makes Krillin grit his teeth in rage, because he really realizes that this form isn't gonna hold. So Krillin then goes back into his just regular buff form to keep burning some muscle, and is fighting Frieza. Of course, he's doing nothing, and Frieza's just flicking him away. And Krillin eventually gets gut-checked and knocked straight out of all of the forms he was just in, out of Kaioken, out of his buff form, and gets sent into multiple mountains and almost knocked out, but he's still gritting his teeth in awakeness. After Krillin got sent into all this mountain, Vegeta was annoyed because, that was working until Frieza just powered up again. Vegeta then, actually powers up to like a way beyond his limits, which starts to overzealous his arm, actually making it like crack and burn with energy. And Piccolo sees this and decides to also do the same, but of course not breaking his limbs. So he's just powering up into a big form and actually charges one more, Actually, he just starts holding down his special beam cannon and actually charging it like heavily while powering up at the same time. Then Vegeta just starts boxing with Frieza. Of course, Frieza is still winning, of course, and is seeing Piccolo charging the thing and decides to let him charge it. And while Vegeta is getting, destroyed, Piccolo finally shoots it, and then Frieza just then death beams it, which Piccolo barely dodges, but loses his his special beam fingers, so he just regrows them instantly, really. Then Piccolo is spooked from Vegeta. Vegeta's good from Krillin. And then Frieza just decides to dog walk Vegeta. And Piccolo just gets knocked away every single time he tries to help, eventually making Piccolo exhausted. So he just gives up. And this is where Goku finally wakes up. He powers out of his thing, and then, flies over to where the entrance is, and then he steps out of the pod, seeing Vegeta getting absolutely destroyed. And then Vegeta is, about to, die because he's coughing out blood. And before that can even happen, Vegeta gets really, really mad, powers up like immensely, and then shoots a full power, double-handed Gallic gun to Frieza's face. This, shoots every single bit of his energy, even through his arm, blowing off his arm, which he just uses to enhance his Gallic gun into a really, really big Gallic gun. And Frieza actually gets slightly damaged to this, because it was like every last bit of ki Vegeta had. And, Vegeta's like about to die from ki exhaustion. And then Goku gets the whole pep talk from Vegeta. The whole, us Saiyans are a proud warrior race. And the Super Saiyan is the only thing that can beat Frieza. And I believe you, Kakarot, are that Saiyan. And then Vegeta passes out. Yeah, he doesn't die, he just passes out. Because remember, in canon, he doesn't actually die. He just actually goes knocked out. And basically looks dead. So, Goku buries Vegeta while Frieza just watches and giggles. Then Goku and Frieza have their legendary fight. Of course, I don't think you guys want me to explain something I could just put a clip on, but I won't. You can just go search up Goku versus Frieza, and find the one where he's not a Super Saiyan. So after, that, oh, by the way, Dende's still alive. He didn't get obliterated. So he actually runs over to where Dende and Gohan fly over to where Krillin is, peel him, and Krillin's back to full health. Not full health, of course. He can't if he goes into Kaioken, that will just knock him directly back out. So Krillin then remembers that they still have a wish on the Dragon Balls. So they go fetch them again and relocate them. And, they start to do that. Fly away. Then, actually, just Gohan and Dende fly away, while Piccolo and Krillin stay to help Goku. And then Goku eventually charges up his Spirit Bomb and hits Frieza with it. And yeah, just like in canon, Frieza survives and is psycho-grabbing Krillin, while Krillin is really helpless to do anything. But before he can, implode and yell Goku's name, Krillin starts getting flashbacks to when he died from one of Piccolo's minions, just right to the neck, gone. And he feels the exact same way. His heart's burning, his body's just limping. And before Frieza can clasp his hands to blow Krillin up, Krillin breaks through the psycho-ness, powers up to something beyond his levels, and then starts his eyes crack, and he looks like he goes like full Broly-eyed face, and his muscle starts bulging, and his calf legs are shown, and his arms are all powered up. And yes, Goku didn't see his friend die. He just saw his friend almost die, which is actually almost as worse. I'm kidding, it's not even close to as worse. But Goku still gets mad and also starts transforming, as Krillin is also transforming. So he's like gritting his teeth in anger, saying, "How dare you, Frieza? How dare you?" And then he screams with Krillin and Goku screaming at the exact same time. And then Goku and Krillin transform. Goku into Super Saiyan and Vegeta into and Krillin into Wrathful. This is a special transformation only for Krillin. No one else has this. So Krillin and Goku are both uber powerful now. Yes, I do know this is exactly like Broly's transformation. But of course, it's like not as powerful, of course. Then Goku and Krillin jump Frieza. Absolutely ravish his ass. Then, when they're fighting Frieza and beating his ass, even if he go, and Krillin, is too wrathful and too brain dead to even reason or let Frieza transform at all. So Frieza's just stuck out of full power mode. He's only at his 50% mode. So he's just getting absolutely cooked by by Goku and Krillin. Mostly Krillin, because Krillin's just is on his ass every 2 seconds. Actually, every microsecond, really. So Frieza's getting just murdered. And when Frieza's on his final legs, he says, "Fuck this planet," and tries and blows it up. Tries to blow it up, I mean. And then eventually Gohan gets a call from King Kai saying to use the wish for this. Just says, use the wish to revive everyone that was already killed by Frieza. So Gohan makes that wish. Oh wait, no. I meant to say King Kai made a wish to where every resident and everyone that was killed by Frieza is revived, and that the Dragon Balls are working on them again. So Gohan and Dende immediately use the Dragon Balls, sending everyone to Earth, excluding Krillin and Goku, of course. Actually, excluding Goku. Only excluding Goku. So Goku and Frieza still have their fight. So Krillin just crashes into a mountain, and then he starts, trying to chill out, and he's like screaming and powering up and depowering up. Basically, he's just intervaling powering up, depowering up, powering up, depowering up. Basically, he's going back into his normal form, back into his big form, just basically flashing through it. This hurts a whole fucking lot. And this actually chips one of Krillin's tooth because he was gritting his teeth so hard. And then Krillin just passes out. And of course we cut back to Goku fighting Frieza. And eventually, leading by Krillin's lead, he still doesn't let Vegeta power up, and even knocks him to the ground in pain. So Frieza decides, fuck this, and decides to shoot Goku with his every last power he had, even being able to power up into his 100% form. But of course Goku, instead of even saying, "You moron," he just charges a Kamehameha immediately and shoots the shit out of him. So Frieza gets just destroyed. And in this timeline, he actually dies. He gets sent right into the core of the planet and just melts with it and dies. No leftover body parts, no data, just straight up dead. So Goku then flies to Frieza's ship and leaves. And actually goes unconscious because of how much power level he had to use. Presses a button, accidentally sends himself to Yardrat. And eventually he lands on Yardrat, and the Yardratian people tell him that he can stay there for a while and learn from them. So Goku accepts, of course. And Krillin's out for this entire ordeal. Like, even them reviving, they're actually scared that Krillin died because they didn't know where Krillin went. Yes, he was powering up and depowering up, but that was like confusing them, thinking they were just feeling Krillin's power from Namek, like they were also feeling Goku's power from Namek. So they try to bring back Krillin and Goku, saying both their names at the same time. So, and of course, he was gonna. Shinra's about to give him a solid until he realizes both Krillin's already on Namek and then he informs all of them that Krillin and Vegeta, Goku is alive. Then they ask where Goku is and where Krillin is. Shenron says Krillin's on planet Earth, knocked out, and in the Deadlands. You know where it is. You know where that is. It's the sandy area where they met the Saiyans. And then he says that Goku is on a distant planet called Yardrat. And then they asked if they can bring Goku here. And then he says Goku wishes not to be transported. So they just let Goku be. And then they turn, just give Shenron just a farewell, saying to just chill. Then they find Krillin and bring him to a hospital. And Krillin's actually out for, like, all the way up to is fully knocked out until this Android Saga. And so Vegeta's there without his arm in the hospital, of course, but Bulma realizes he'll get up faster. And so he decides to build Vegeta a new arm. Taking measurements, building Vegeta a new arm. Decides to build him a new arm. We're gonna leave with Krillin out, Vegeta out, getting a new arm, and Goku on Yardrat learning the instant transmission. Basically, just everyone chilling. And Gohan getting reprimanded and grounded from Chi-Chi because, he lied to her. Anyways, that's where I'm gonna leave things for right now. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked the What If. I hope you liked the whole transformation I made up for Krillin, the whole wrathful human. It's a power level that every human can unlock in this timeline. Yeah, anyways. Y'all have a good one. See ya.